Good morning or evening, friend.
I think we have a lot of talent. And right now, we actually have our second guest on the show. He's going to be coaching. He came out and coached at the first ever Portsmouth Basketball Summit, coming back this year, and that's Justin Brandt. Justin, you on with us?
Yeah, I'm here with you guys.
All right, man. I appreciate you taking the time to call in. So what do you remember from that the first basketball summit you were at? Was there anything that stood out? Our first attempt out there in Portsmouth?
Yeah, for sure. And first, I just want to thank you guys for having me on tonight. It's been great catching up with you guys again. It's been crazy since that very first Portsmouth Invitational, how much I've traveled around and how much I've grown since then. And, I would say the very first thing that I remember the most is how great of a learning experience it was, not only for me as a coach, but for the guys that I coached that day. I still stay in contact with a lot of those guys, and they spoke how that whole event just prepared them for their career now. And it was a competitive atmosphere as well. I know from, the different places that I've been, sometimes guys kind of come out and they pretty much just expect, I'm going to this event. People they've already seen what I've done, so they're going to see me again. I don't really have to do that. And, it was nice to see that everybody was competitive and they were going hard, because that's exactly what you need when you're going after these contracts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and that's something from day one we've wanted to have as like a cornerstone of our event. So hopefully when you come out this year, you'll see some improvements. I know we've definitely improved on our jerseys. Right after that camp, we got some nice reversibles with the logo. But hopefully we'll have a little bit better talent, too. And we had some really good talent that first year, but we've been continuing to grow every year. But I wanted to, kind of also remind the listeners, I don't even believe we had the radio show last time that you came out to the camp, but about your experience, your coaching, you got a chance to go overseas a little bit and coach, and then what you've been doing here recently, coaching and training players. So I don't know if you can, kind of quickly run through some of that stuff.
No, yeah, for sure. So I got my start at Radford University. I was part of that team that took us to our second ever NCAA tournament appearance. And then after that, I headed overseas to coach with Andre Lamanis with the New Zealand Breakers. And there I had a great learning experience and a great opportunity. I got to work with some great athletes and coaching minds, namely Corey Webster, who plays for the Tall Blacks now, and also Kirk Penny, who is just a legend in New Zealand. After that, I worked at a couple of different high schools and trained guys, and then I started working at IMG Academy, and again, just another great learning experience, and not only to learn from the coaches there, but to learn more about placing guys with different teams and what it actually takes to get to those teams, because I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that just because you're the man on your team, especially at a high-level program, even in the U.S., that does not guarantee you a spot overseas. And sometimes when our guys get into these high-level programs and we feed into that ego, they sometimes forget how hard it is to actually get that contract and retain that contract.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely a different beast when you get there. I don't know if you listened earlier, we had a player played at University of Houston who was originally a walk-on as a captain by his senior season. So to me, you got to have that mentality. You're going in there to fight every day, and that you're trying to get better. So, what are your goals? From this point on, I know you love working with players, helping them out. Is that something you're going to focus on going forward?
No, yeah, for sure. So, I've always continued my coaching, getting on the sidelines. I absolutely love it. I'm a basketball junkie. But my biggest focus today, I think what's really helped me grow is that and this is no direct shot at anybody. I think you guys can see it as well, especially when you're out at different events and if you're watching AAU, because there's a lot of fakers and takers out there in basketball today. And a lot of people who try to exploit different individuals, especially at the younger age. So my whole goal today is just to be a giver and a guardian. I try to educate all of my athletes. I was just having a conversation the other day with somebody on Instagram, and I think it's great that we can reach out and get in contact with so many different people today. They were asking me about the elevation mask, and I was just educating on them on how it's just a really good fake tool for people to use, and these clown drills, because you throw people on Instagram and YouTube or Twitter now, and they're a very intelligent trainer by what they show on those things, but not a lot of people actually understand the game. And I'm not saying that I'm an expert, because I definitely learn every single day. Everything I do is research based. So, I really reach out to Drew Hanlon and Jordan Lawley and Micah Lancaster, all those skills gurus and different coaches, from my mentor, Kevin Sutton, who's an assistant at Pitt at Georgetown. And then now I'm really focusing on performance enhancement. So I'm going after those certifications and learning from people like Alan Stein. Everybody knows him. Hem Barrera, the strength and conditioning coach at Liberty University. David Alexander down in Miami with DBC Fitness. Brett Contreras, all of these great minds, just to learn from them. So, again, my whole goal now is just to educate and prepare as many athletes as possible and get them to where they want to be.
Yeah, wow. That's some good stuff. And we need more people like you in this business, helping players, showing them the right things, and not just – and I know you're a very open-minded person too. You talked about the researching different things and not just sticking to one way and saying, no, this is how I've been doing it. I'm not changing. I'm not listening to that. So definitely think you're doing great things with that. So coming out to the camp and getting a chance to coach one of these teams, what do you do, I guess, to try to obviously you don't get a ton of time with them, but what do you do to try to give them tips? You do it like throughout the 2 days, or do you have any approach when you come into coaching an exposure camp like this?
Yeah, for sure. So, going back to kind of like what you said with being so research-based and kind of, what you said, coaches get this mentality. I talk with my coach that I work with here in Charlotte. Coaches have these mentalities like, this worked for me when I coached high school ball, so we're just going to throw it in here. And the problem is honestly, these scouts couldn't care less about what you did as a coach, and the players, they don't have enough time to really grasp a full concept. And the other thing is and this is kind of our fault as Americans at times, is that, we just kind of feel like we know it all. And the fact is that if these guys aren't lucky enough to land into, the greatest league in the world of the NBA, they're going to be playing overseas. So, I really, every time that I come in or I coach these guys, I want to put them in an opportunity, one, to showcase their skills and their personality. Because one of the biggest misconceptions is, if I'm a skilled ball player, I'm getting a contract. And, the fact remains is that, this is a job that you're going after. So people are looking at your personality as well, seeing how you're interacting with people. And then as far as sets go and philosophy, I really want to, try to get them to be as comfortable as possible, but actually succeeding in those sets that they're actually going to use at the next level. So things like horns. Horns is, the most run offense in the entire world. So, if you're not letting these guys run through horns in one of these games, coaches are looking, or these scouts are looking at them like, okay, we're never going to allow them to just play 1-on-5. So they want to see how they work within that atmosphere. But I mean, as far as, working with these guys, I always try to tell them, don't overthink it. If you or I went into UNC today and went on for a practice tryout with Roy Williams, didn't turn the ball over, didn't get scored on, and made all of our layups, you think Roy Williams is going to tell us not to come back? I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself right there. And, making connections with those scouts, walking up to them, putting a smile on your face and shaking hands. Like I said, this is a job that you're looking for. So being able to interact with people, because you're going to have to interact with the fans and with the corporation that you're going to play for, right? And so, like I said, you're not having to do too much. And the biggest thing that I try to tell them is to keep your mind where your feet are. And I know a lot of people, they'll tell you live present. But what is living present? That's a really hard concept to maintain. But if you tell somebody, be where your feet are while you're on that court, if you're on defense, keep your mind what you're supposed to be doing right then. You miss a shot, move on from it. You can't go back and take that shot back. So keep your mind where your feet are, focus on the goal, and just, like I said, just trying to get them ready for these scouts, try to showcase their skills and get them to where they want to be.
Yeah, no, that's some great advice. I mean, we see it over and over. Usually the players that kind of look the worst is because they're trying to do too much. So, yeah, I'm glad that you're going to be there to coach one of these teams, help the players out. If there are any players that are listening, if they're not able to come out to this event to get a chance to speak with you and talk to you, is there any way that they can contact you or follow some of your training advice and everything?
No, for sure. I mean, they can always go to my website, and a lot of people tell me, especially my mentors, they say, JB, don't give out your phone number. But, with me, my biggest thing is when I was growing up, I mean, I'm from Philadelphia, and, we got great basketball there, but, we didn't always have people who wanted to reach out and talk to us and help us out. So my biggest thing is that anytime anybody wants to reach out to me, get help, just chalk it up and talk about basketball, they can always reach out, hit me up on my phone number, 215-817-8565. They can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, go to my website. Everything's Coach JB, Justin Brandt.
Coach JB, okay. We'll make sure to share that out on our Twitter and on our Facebook and everything too. Make sure that they can be in touch with you, get some advice. But no, looking forward to seeing you out there on Thursday and Friday. So definitely safe travels there, and we'll see you in about a week.
Absolutely. Anytime you guys need anything, just let me know.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
Yep.